Hello, welcome to the books I want to read in 2026. Actually 26 books for 2026. If you're wondering if I met my goal last year of 25 books in 2025, the answer is no. Okay. It actually makes me mad because I only read 22 out of the 25 books I needed. I really tried. I really did. It was not to be. I actually lost my book that I was reading, that I was in the middle of, and then I just didn't find it in time, and I was like, well, you know, I actually really did think I was gonna meet that goal. But in May, I think, I didn't finish any book. And during the summer, it's kind of weird because I feel like different people go through like phases of not reading during specific times of the year, and for me that tends to happen in the summer. But yeah, I didn't read much in the summer. I tried to make up for it throughout the year, but it didn't happen. So you're saying, so why is your goal 26? Because last year was 25, and honestly I was almost there, and I think that if I do end up reading more in the summer, I think I can reach this goal. So here we are. This is in no particular order. I just made a list yesterday of like the books that I wanted to read. This is not a TBR. If you watched last year's video, I think like mid-year last year, it's weird to say, honestly, like a few months ago, I got a comment on that video and it was asking if I was keeping up with my TBR or the books listed in that video, and I was like, looking back at it, like, no. So here I am. But actually I think this TBR, these books that I want to read in 2026 is going to be like a lot closer to what I actually end up reading. I'm a mood reader. What I want to read changes very often, and I don't find myself dictated by a TBR. Mostly I just finish a book and then I just pick up whatever one. It doesn't really matter. I don't have like a list of like the 5 next books I'm gonna read. Like right now, I don't think I'm reading anything right now actually. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna read next. I don't know what I'm gonna read after that. So this is not really a TBR. This is just like the books that I want to read next year. This year, it's January. I tried not to repeat books that I put on the list last year, and I think I only have like 2, maybe 3 repeats, but I think we're off to like a good start. So again, this is in no particular order. I have 2 stacks. One is like hardcovers, one is soft covers. So really I'm just going by the list that I have on my phone, and we're gonna start off, okay? First being The Poppy War. I picked up The Poppy War, like I got The Poppy War, I think, well, last year. But I haven't had a chance to read it. I've heard good things about this. R.F. Kuang. I read, what did I read? I read Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I actually really liked it, and she intrigues me. So The Poppy War is one that's on my list. Also, I'm skipping around on my list now, but just because I have it right next to it, The Poppy War and also Calabasas. These 2 books I really want to read. Calabasas is something that I really did want to read. I thought I was going to read it when it came out, and then again, mood reader, I was in the middle of something else, and so Calabasas, or Catabasis. Honestly, I'm pretty sure she said she called it Calabasas too, so I'm going to say Calabasas because that's what just happens when my mouth tries to say this word. So Calabasas is on this list. The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I think these are my only 2 R.F. Kuang books on my list right now. So these 2 I really want to read. Oh, that's so cool. Okay. Next off is The Odyssey. I have Clothbound Classics. I mentioned this in the video that I filmed yesterday. Honestly, I love my Clothbound Classics. I read Frankenstein last year. It was my first classic, and The Odyssey is actually something listen, I'm not going to say attempted. I was reading in 2023. And then reading slump, stopped reading. Honestly, I think I got to like 50 pages in. I took out my bookmark because I was like, I'm restarting this. Like, I was actually really interested by this. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey comes out in November, I think. I love Christopher Nolan. I love Greek mythology. I'm very excited for that movie, and I will, oh, that's also something you're gonna see in this video, is that I love movies. I watch a lot of movies. If movie is coming out, I'm going to read book. Anyway, yeah, so The Odyssey, very excited for that movie. Super excited. Like one of the movies that I'm most looking forward to seeing next year, along with Doomsday that comes out in December, but we're not going to talk about that. This isn't a movie channel. Sometimes sometimes I just really want to talk about movies too, but you know, we're staying on theme for this video. After that, I have Atonement. Atonement is actually a movie. I actually have not watched Atonement. I've heard a lot of good things about the movie. I actually heard that it's kind of sad. I think I know the, also, sorry, before I mention this, I try not to know a lot of things about the books that I read before going into it. So if I do know something about a book, I'll tell you, but honestly, for the most part, I do not know. So I'm probably not gonna say much about what occurs in these books, mostly because I don't want to remind myself, and I just try not to know too much before going into it. I want to have medium expectations. I try not to have high expectations for anything, you know, just to like not be disappointed and go into this with like a neutral view. But yeah, Atonement is one of the books that I want to read in 2026 for real this time. Like, I want to commit to this. Then I have The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. I read The Handmaid's Tale last year. It feels weird saying last year. I read this a few months ago, The Handmaid's Tale, and I really liked it, and I want to watch the TV show, so I really want to read this. I heard the TV show is 4 seasons long, which when I finished the book actually, I was like, how is this going to stretch out for 4 seasons? That's when I heard that they actually included a lot of things from the Testaments and added more information into the series. So before I do that, I really want to read the Testaments. I've kind of heard that the first one is better than the second one, but still I want to read it, you know, find out what's happening, learn more about this world. Honestly, I really do hope that I get a deeper insight as to what was happening in the world that surrounded the first book, so I kind of hope that this goes into that. Then, okay, I don't have the book, but Heartstopper's up there. I've read all 5 Heartstopper books. The 6th one and the last one comes out this year, I believe, in July. So I really want to read the new Heartstopper. I really like the series. I think it's a cute YA series and I really want to finish it. So I do want to read Heartstopper 6 when it comes out. Another book that I do not have is The Wedding People. I think The Wedding People is about this lady who goes to this hotel in Rhode Island. I don't think it matters. There are trigger warnings surrounding that book in general, but she basically goes to this hotel with a plan, and basically everyone who's staying in this hotel is a part of the wedding that is happening that weekend, and she kind of like intermingles with people from the wedding, and you know, things kind of happen. But I've heard good things about that, so I really want to pick that up this year as well. I think this is the last one for the books that I don't have, but The Will of the Many, I've actually heard a lot of good things about. I believe it's kind of like a case system where, you know, the top percent gets the will or like the soul somehow of the people below them. So everyone's kind of feeding off of the people at the bottom. And it revolves around a guy who I think goes to school and is trying to kind of take down the system. Again, I do not know much, but that is kind of like the gist of it. I've heard that it's a really good book. Honestly, the only thing that's kind of intimidating is the length of the book, and honestly, I have a lot of books I have to read, so I really do want to read it, but at the same time, like, I kind of want to get through the books that I have first before I go around picking up and buying new books. Then Captain Blue Bear. This is a book that I actually got maybe like 5 pages into when I was in a book slump. I picked this up because I originally wanted to read the 3rd book in the series. I didn't realize it was a series, so I bought all 3 of them. This is the first one. The 4th one, actually. I only have the first. No, I have the 1st, 2nd, and 4th book. I'm missing the 3rd one. But honestly, it's like I think it's like a cozy fantasy type of book, and I really want to read this so I can get to like the book that I actually wanted to read and was interested in. They can be read as standalones, I believe, but honestly, I like to go in book order, so I did pick this up a long time ago. I think it's about time I read this, and honestly, I didn't read a lot of fantasy last year, so I really want to dive into that again. After that, I have Legendary. If you don't know my lore with Caraval, I picked it up. A lot of people said it was really good. I had high expectations for it, and they did not deliver. I didn't vibe with it. I didn't like the characters. I thought the magic system was interesting. There just wasn't enough magic in it. I'm not going to talk about Caraval. Honestly, this is the 2nd book in it. Along with Legendary, there is Finale. Now you're asking yourself, Nicole, if you didn't like the first one, why do you have this, like the whole series, the trilogy? And I'm going to say it's because at the time, I like to buy things like as a whole. And like in the beginning, I actually like kind of vibed with it. And I was like, okay, might as well buy the next 2. bad idea. Finish the first book before you buy the rest, because this has been on my TBR for a while now, and I think it's about time to finish this and be done with it. I really like the way it looks, like the spines, but like at the same time, was it worth it? No. I actually tried to read this right after Caravel because I was like, I need to finish this now. Like, now is the time. And I couldn't. I really couldn't. I started it, I got annoyed, and I was like, you know what? Time to pause. I can't get into a reading slump. So I paused on it. And it's time to get back to it. So my goal for this year is to finish up the Caravel series. For Christmas, I got Little Women. I've been actually wanting to read Little Women for a while now. I watched the movie, love the movie, the 2019 movie with Saoirse Ronan and Timothée Chalamet and Florence Pugh. I love that movie. It was the first version of Little Women that I watched, and actually until now the only version of Little Women I watched. But throughout this time, I've been kind of looking for, call me superficial, but an edition of the book that I wanted to get, and I finally found one this year. My mom gave me this for Christmas, so I think it's finally time to dive into Little Women. I love the movie, I really did, and now I really want to read the book. I've been wanting to read the book for a while, and now that I have the book, I can proceed. Along with this edition of the book, I also found Wuthering Heights in the same kind of edition, if you will. I keep saying edition. But Wuthering Heights comes out in February, I believe, with Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi. And I've heard a lot of good things about Wuthering Heights. Obviously, it's a classic. While I've heard good things, I haven't heard anything about the story. I've seen the trailers. I'm getting a gist of it, but I still don't know anything about it, quite frankly. So Wuthering Heights is something that I want to read this year, hopefully before the movie comes out. But at the same time, I ask myself, like, is it good to read the source material before? I feel like either way you do it, like if you watch the movie or you read the book before, you're kind of losing that element of surprise, because you're like, you're going, like, okay, last year, I read Dark Matter, and I read Dark Matter before I watched the TV show. I loved Dark Matter, the book. And I was like, okay, finally time to watch the TV show. The TV show was good, but the book was just so much better. I watched it with my dad, and my dad actually really liked the TV show. And I was like, okay, but like so many things changed, and I don't know. I feel like you lose like a little, I don't know the way to go about this, whether to read the book or the movie first, or try to kind of like separate the two. But again, you have source material, it's really hard to like adapt. I don't know. I really don't know. But sometimes I find myself in that kind of like question or circumstance as to like, do I read the book first or do I wait? So I don't know. But I think I'm gonna read Wuthering Heights before the movie comes out. If I'm in the mood for it, mood reader again. I'll do what I can. Next on the books I want to read is House of Leaves. Listen, House of Leaves, I originally wanted to read it in a short amount of time back in October, and I started it, and then I was like, I have questions, and then I realized that this is such a uniquely set up book, and I went down this hole where I was like, okay, I'm a little bit confused and I don't know what I'm getting myself into. And I heard, obviously, it's like one of those books that I feel is advertised by the public as one of the most unsettling books and one of maybe the best horror books. That's why originally I wanted to read it in October, and I was like, I actually do not have, at the time I didn't have the time to finish this book in the time span that I wanted to, but I'm hoping this year I can get through it. I'm kind of intimidated by it. Not only is it like a little bit hefty, but people said that it took them some time to get through and to like to completely understand what was happening. And like, you see this? I don't know. But this is something I actually really do want to read, and I'm hoping I have the courage to do this. Like, I have to commit. Next, Project Hail Mary, a science fiction book. One of the first science fiction books that I read in a long time was Dark Matter, and honestly I picked up Hail Mary over the summer. Like, I bought it over the summer because the movie was coming out. I thought it was coming out in November, but actually it's coming out this year. So I've heard good things about this book too. I watched the trailers. I heard there's a spoiler in the trailer, and I think I've watched all the trailers, so I hope that doesn't affect this, but this is something I want to read before the movie comes out. Then I have The Prestige. The Prestige is actually a movie that I watched. It is also directed by Christopher Nolan. It was such a good movie, and when I found out it was a book first, I had to pick it up. I've had this on my TBR for a while now, and it's been maybe like 2 years since I watched The Prestige, but still, it's like something that sticks in my head as like one, do I dare say, like one of my favorite Christopher Nolan movies. But this is something I want to read. Again, it comes to the point where like, is it better to watch the movie because there was a twist? It was crazy. It was crazy. And now I know the twist, but like, you know, still like I want to see what happens in here. I don't know, but I love that movie. I really do. Number 17, I realize I haven't been counting for you, but is World War Z. I got this for Christmas. World War Z is a book I've been wanting to read for like, I think maybe 1.5 to 2 years. I never had the book. I got it for Christmas. This is my dad's favorite zombie movie, actually. It's like my first or second favorite zombie movie. It's competing with Train to Busan. The reason why it's like our favorite, if not like top 2 favorite zombie movies, is because when we watched it for the first time, it was the first time that we ever saw the running zombie. You know how like zombies move like really slow at first? Yeah, World War Z was the first time we experienced a running zombie, which was like crazy for us at the time. So yeah, I liked World War Z, the movie. I just thought the ending should have been different. If you watch the movie, maybe you get what I'm saying, but I want to see what's up with World War Z. I wanted to read it for a while. I've watched the movie a few times now. It's been a little while since I last watched it, which some of the details have kind of faded from my memory, which I think is why it's a good time to actually step into World War Z, but here we are. Then I have Dungeon Crawler Carl. I really struggle to say that name sometimes. It's like a tongue twister for me. Like, I feel like I knew what this this book was about, but I can't tell you. Yeah, him and his ex-girlfriend's cat try to survive the end of the world or just get to the next level in a video game like trap-filled fantasy dungeon. I've heard good things about this. I think there's a whole series. I really wanted to read it at first, and then the cover really called to me, so we have Dungeon Crawler Carl. This is a series. I only picked up the first one, but I think, like, I try not to have expectations, but at the same time I have high hopes, so I really hope I like this. I really want to get into it. Then I'm gonna point to it. I have the Lord of the Rings series right here. I have the Fellowship of the Ring. I got that for Christmas last year. I'm scared of it, honestly. It's like Old English. I'm hoping I can read and comprehend it. But yeah, I really want to read the Fellowship of the Ring. Obviously, before the Fellowship of the Ring, I have to read The Hobbit, but the one I'm looking forward to is the Fellowship of the Ring. The Lord of the Rings, even though I've watched it multiple times, there are still details that are not embedded in my head. So I want to read the Lord of the Rings. I want to read the whole thing. The Lord of the Rings actually was being re-released this month, January, in theaters, and I really wanted to go see it in theaters. And the thing was that I was like, I kind of want to read the book before, and that was not going to happen in time. Literally, it was not going to happen, but either way. Along with that, I have Jurassic Park. I read Jurassic Park last year. This is actually books 1 and 2. I only read the first book. Now I want to read The Lost World. The Lost World, I think that's the title for the second movie. The second movie really is my favorite. The first one is my favorite, and listen, I know it's controversial, but I actually really do like the third movie. But yeah, I kind of want to get back into this, and I want to read the second book. So here we are, then we can finish this and I'll be done. Then I have Salem's Lot. Now, originally I thought this was like about, maybe I'm thinking about Pet Sematary. There's one that's about vampires, and I don't know which one it is, but I want to read Salem's Lot. I kind of want to get back into Stephen King. I read The Long Walk last year, and I read Misery. Misery actually was my favorite Stephen King book so far, even though I've only read 2, I think. But I want to read Salem's Lot. I have not read The Shining, which is here. I actually started it. Was in a book slump. I only got 10 pages into it. The Shining, I did watch the movie. Again, I've watched it like, I think maybe twice or 3 times, but the details, like, I know what happens in the end, but the details are blurry. So I want to read that as well. But I don't know why Salem's Lot is kind of like appealing to me right now. So hopefully this will be something I read in September, October. Then I have Bookish. Now, originally I thought this was like about, maybe I'm thinking about Pet Sematary. There's one that's about vampires, and I don't know which one it is, but I want to read Salem's Lot. I kind of want to get back into Stephen King. I read The Long Walk last year, and I read Misery. Misery actually was my favorite Stephen King book so far, even though I've only read 2, I think. But I want to read Salem's Lot. I have not read The Shining, which is here. I actually started it. Was in a book slump. I only got 10 pages into it. The Shining, I did watch the movie. bookish. Then this is a book that I got for Christmas, The Naturals. This is about a girl who is really good at reading people, and then she gets a call from the FBI because they've started like a classified program and they want her to be in it. So sorry, my I know nothing's happened for you, but my camera just completely stopped filming, so we'll get back to it. What was I saying? Something about The Naturals. Oh, it's a series. Is that what it was? Yeah, it's also a series. So we'll see if I like the first one, and if I do, we can pick up the rest. I also really like these covers. I think they'll look really good on a bookshelf. So yeah, The Naturals was number 22. Then I have the Arabian Nights. I originally had a different edition, I'll say, of the Arabian Nights. It was actually like I still have it. It's a really pretty book, but it's Reader Digest edition of the Arabian Nights, which, if you don't know, is abridged, which I didn't know at the time, which is why like when I was reading it a few years ago, I felt like there was a lot missing, and I felt like we should have gone back to like the original plot. I know there's stories. If you don't know, this girl, I don't remember her name, is basically gets married to a king or something around there, and basically this king is known to like be married to a girl and then like kill her the next day, and then he keeps marrying that way. So basically the way that this girl is going about this is that she wants to stop him from doing this and from killing more women. So the way that she keeps him there, I think it's like the Arabian Nights, how many nights? I don't remember, actually. It can't be 1,000, right? But basically each night she tells him a story, and if I remember correctly, she leaves it like halfway before getting to the ending so she can survive another day. And each night she tells him a different story, and she'll tell him the rest in the morning, I believe, something around that situation. So that's how she's keeping herself alive, and that's kind of like the plot of the book as far as I remember. So yeah, I really want to read the Arabian Nights from the beginning. I think I got a few stories in, but again, it was abridged, so I really want to restart this from the beginning. Then last year, it feels weird saying last year, but in 2025 I actually read the second book of The Handmaid's Tale. And why it's happening again, this is something that happens to me quite frequently, but I read The Housemaid's Secret and The Housemaid is Watching. I finished up that trilogy last year, and honestly, Frida McFadden's books are really fast reads and they're quite entertaining. So I picked up another one, Never Lie. I actually do not know what this is about, but Never Lie is a book that I want to read next year. I feel like this is a good palate cleanser, and I actually finished up those two books. No, I finished up 1.5 of those books in Mexico when I went on my trip, and it was a really fast read. Actually, it was really entertaining, and honestly, they're really good for travel, I guess, on a plane, you know, plane books, vacation books, if you want something to get through while you're there. Really entertaining for the most part. I don't know how this one is, but I have this one that I want to read in 2026. We're getting to number 25, Haunted. I actually did start this one, I want to say 2 years ago. I got a little bit into it. I've heard this is also a really good horror book. I was in a reading slump. Okay, I was in a reading slump. I only got like maybe 20 pages into this, but I heard it's good. I want to read it. The cover does kind of freak me out a little bit, but you know, I want to read this anyway. Then I have Piranesi. This is number 26. I want to read Piranesi. It's a fantasy. Oh, something fell out. It's a fantasy book. I started it. I can't remember what it's about, but just know I think it's like mythology based. I want to read it. It seems good. A lot of people, I've heard good things about it, so I want to read this one as well. So thanks for watching this video. These are all of the books that I would like to read in 2026, and hopefully I will. And yeah, I think this is a list I can stick to for the most part. I think this is something that I'll actually get a significant way into. Like, you know, I'll read a few or hopefully most of these books this year. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a like, subscribe maybe, and if you want to keep up with me anywhere else, all my socials are linked down below. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.